Okay, we're back with mass hypnosis through mass media. And once again, I'm drawn to these high school demonstrations. It seems to be they're very popular right now. I had no idea about this. But I'm going to use the hypnotists and the students once again to illustrate the power of mass media. It's probably actually a little easier to see it right here because you actually will see the physical manifestations of hypnos. Hypnos is false god, a demonic entity that can induce sleep, and not only sleep, but break down the willpower and the thought life of any individual who opens himself or herself up. So basically speaking, once again, the analogy is that the students on stage are like individuals who sit in front of their television set. Okay? Now I know you say you might be stretching it. No, I'm not. Because the television is the instrument of hypnos. Now what do I mean by that? Well, guess what the different selections you have are called channels. Did you ever stop and think about why are they called channels? That's because they're channels for demonic spirits. And the shows that you watch are called what? Programs. Meaning you are programmed to believe that that is reality. When indeed it is not reality, but because you've been programmed through channels. Now, the gentleman in front of you is a channeler in a sense. Hypnos and the power that hypnos has comes right through him. And you will see physical manifestations. Now, once again, these students are not acting. This is not acting class. They are truly smitten by these powers. And you're going to see this in this gentleman's presentation. So I'm going to use it as an analogy to keep talking about the mass media.
Would you trade with this young lady here? See if I pull this off right. Yeah, I can count. There we go. And then if you flip like that, look what happened. Guy, girl, guy, girl, guy, girl. Didn't that work that nice? Miss Gilbert is getting us another chair for the young man. Where did he go? That was looking to... While she's doing that, let me explain what you're about to see and why we're doing this. Obviously, I was going through the audience looking for good visualizers. And as I said before, when you're in a group of teenagers who are very open-minded and haven't spent a whole lot of years becoming cynics, you tend to get some really good subjects. These folks, however, appear to be extremely good visualizers. They have an ability to internalize a picture quickly and easily, which is what
They have an ability to internalize a picture quickly. What do you think is on your television screen? And what is happening to you while you're watching it? You're internalizing the information that is put on you.
Hypnotist is looking for. A hypnotist wants to see, can a person take a picture and transmit that picture into action? If you invite them to imagine holding 100 balloons, do you get the arm autonomously rising? Let me explain what autonomous means.
Okay, can you take the picture and transmit it into action? Well, look at the action that we're seeing all around us, across the whole nation and indeed across most of the world. The hypnotists created a picture and many people put it into action. That's exactly what he said. Now, just substitute his word hypnotist, substitute for that word newscaster. That's a newscaster. And what he does to these students is what a newscaster does to those who watch the news.
So these folks afterwards, if you ask them, are likely to tell you, I don't feel like I lifted my arm on my own. I felt like it was being pulled up by those balloons. That's known as an autonomous motion. And you pick up over the years how to recognize that. So I've identified these folks as being very good visualizers, and I've invited them to join me on stage. Ask a good visualizer to visualize their fingertips like two magnets, and the fingers often dramatically come together. Observe what happens when good visualizers begin visualizing other things. Have any of you up here ever been hypnotized before? First experience, was it by me or no? At the Renaissance Fair, here locally? Okay, must have been fun. So I'll start down this end. Madam, your first name is?
Skylar.
Skylar. Your name, sir? George. Do you two know each other? Okay, well, shake, because you're about to know him a lot better than you ever thought you would. So I need your help. George, I need you to do something for me. You know what I need you to do? George, catch Skylar. Make sure Skylar doesn't hit the floor. Fair enough? All right, arm up there like that. Now, Skylar, we have all of these, just like that. We have all these lights up there on the ceiling. See those lights? Would you pick one and just look at it? And before I do this, I have a question for you. Are you hypnotized right now? Do you think you are? If it was yes or no, what would you vote? Yes. Okay, well, you're right. Take a nice deep breath. Beautiful, deep sleep. Oh, and then 5, 4, 3.
Okay, the reason he said take a deep breath is because spirits are transmitted through the air. So it's like he has electricity.
Deep sleep like a rag doll, Skylar. Like a rag doll. Loosen it, loosen it. Don't do that. Take a spot, George. Just look at it. Take a deep breath. Beautiful. Sleep, George. Way down deep. Like a rag doll. Deep asleep, George. Deep asleep. Loosen limp, loosen limp, loosen limp, loosen limp.
Okay, notice he keeps saying sleep. That's what the other one said in my other videos. Hypnos is the god of sleep. And when you watch television, Hypnos is present and active and acting on you, as well as me. How do I know? I watched it for many years. How do I know? I came under the spell of the newscasters. That's how I know.
Your first name?
Ray.
Ray? Are you hypnotized, Ray? You don't think so? You think so? Sleep. Let's find out. There you go. Loosen. Deep asleep. Loosen. Madam, your first name? Haley. Honestly, Haley, do you think you're hypnotized right now? Be honest. At least you're honest. Pick a spot and just look at it. Would you, Haley, take a nice deep breath for me? Let's see what happens. There you go. Oh, look at that. Deep asleep. Like a rag doll. All the way down. Deeper, more relaxed. Beautiful. Sleep like a rag doll. Deep asleep. Loosen limp. Let's go down to this side and see what happens. Deeper, more relaxed. Madam, your first name? Rachel. What a pretty name. Your name? Eddie. Eddie, would you carry catch Rachel for me? Gotcha. Rachel, big spot. Just look at it for me. Would you, hon? Take a nice deep breath. Beautiful. Sleep. Deep sleep. There you go. Big spot and just look at it, sir. Take a nice deep breath. Take a deep sleep. Loosen. All the way. Deeper, more relaxed. Deeper, more relaxed. Loosen limp. First name?
Alicio.
Alicio. Great name. Sleep. Please. Oh, okay. Deep asleep. Do you mind catching Alicio here? Hold that thought. Hi. First name? Alex. Take a nice deep breath, would you, Alex? Are you hypnotized? Yeah. I think so. There you go. Deep sleep. Loosen limp. The holdouts, huh? You guys are the last ones here. All right, here we go. Let's do this. A little bit different. You guys are all awake and doing well? I'll come to you, I promise. Just are you terribly uncomfortable? I mean, you got these two great guys doing it. First name? Justin. Pick a spot on that microphone and just look at it. Would you, Justin? Take a nice deep breath for me, would you? There you go, Justin. Hi. First name? Sleep. Deep sleep. Loosen limp. Whoa. Your first name? Brandon. Are you hypnotized, Brandon? Don't think so. Good news. Yeah, see that red exit sign back there? See if you can keep your eyes on that spot for 10 seconds. Got it? There you go. Okay, loosen. Deep asleep, deep asleep, deep asleep. You've been so sweet. I'll tell you what, we're going to make this real nice for you. Would you pick a spot and just keep your eyes on that? Please don't take your eyes off that spot. Now, I know you folks up here are very relaxed. I know you're taking nice, slow, deep breaths. However, I would like to show you all how to drop down into an even deeper sleep. Here's what's going to happen. In just a few minutes, I'm going to begin slowly counting backwards from 5 to 1. As I count backwards, I want you to use those numbers that I count.
Okay, get them in an even deeper state. And that's what happens as you proceed in watching television. As you proceed along with the newscaster, as you proceed along with your program, you go deeper. Now notice he said he's going to count backwards from 5. When we get to the hypnotic inductions, I'll actually show you that in film. The hypnotic induction. The old films, that's how they started them, counting backwards. I'll show you one of those.
And with every number that you hear me count, I want you to let yourself sink and drop down even deeper into this wonderful relaxation so that by the time I reach the number 1, every single muscle in your body, every muscle from the tops of your heads to the tips of your toes is completely, totally, and extremely deeply relaxed by the time I reach the number 1. And we do this very nicely by just starting the process. Take a nice deep breath for me. Breathe in deeply. That's it. And as you exhale down slowly, 5. Feel it now. Dropping and sinking deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. Those legs now are loose and limp and relaxed again. Feel the tension draining out of the bottoms of your feet. Every muscle in your body is starting to loosen and relax. You are concentrating perfectly. Take another nice deep breath now. Breathe in deeply. Beautiful. 4. Let all the muscles in your stomach and back loosen, relax. Dropping down deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper. More and more relaxed. Loosen, limp. Let's take another nice deep breath now. Breathe in deeply. And as you exhale this time, let all the muscles in your shoulders totally relax. Let all that tension drop out.
Okay, those who attend churches where there's a lot of the slaying power, I'm not saying that where you're at is necessarily wrong, bad, or evil, but you can see there's a counterfeit. There's a counterfeit. And this is the counterfeit, Hypnosis.
And your shoulders, there you go. Deeper. More and more relaxed. Deeper and deeper. You are concentrating perfectly. Deeper and deeper to sleep. Loosen limp. Sleep. Very deep, very relaxed. When we reach the next number now, we're going to let all the muscles in your neck totally relax. And you can let that heavy neck, that heavy head of yours drop and flop wherever it wants to go. Take a nice deep breath. Breathe in deeply. There it is. 2. Drop down. Sleep now. Very deep. Very deep. You are stuck to the seat of that chair. Your butt is stuck to that chair. Very deep, very relaxed. You are concentrating just beautifully now. Very deep, very relaxed. Deeper, more relaxed. Beautiful. We just have one more number to go. And when we reach that last number, when we reach that final number, is when you can let yourself drop down into a really deep sleep. You can let every single muscle in your body, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, totally, completely, deeply relaxed. And when I reach that last number, fall down into a very, very deep sleep. Take a nice...
Hey, notice he keeps referring to the word number. And if you know anything at all about the Hoaxlife system, it is number coded. And if you can study the codes and know the numbers, you'll understand better what the hypnotist is doing. Now, the one that I highly recommend, who really knows these codes and the numbers, is Dave Johnson. Dave knows them quite well. And if you watch his videos, he can explain to you more about the coded number system. The Hoaxlife system is coded with numbers. And once you understand some of the numbers and the codes, you'll know exactly what the hypnotist is doing to the viewers.
Deep breath, breathing deeply. And as you exhale, drop down to sleep. Now, one, very deep, very deep, very deep, deep asleep, deep asleep, deep asleep, deep asleep, sleep, 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 very deep and very relaxed, very, very deep and very, very relaxed. Sleep now, way down deep, way down deep, way down deep. Deeper, sleep, 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 sleep. From this moment, every muscle in your body totally relaxed. Sleep. Sleep, 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 sleep.
Okay, when he says sleep, he's invoking and evoking the god of sleep, Hypnosis. And that power is being released.
Sleep, 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 all the way down, deep asleep, deep asleep, deep asleep, deep asleep, deep asleep. Loosen limp, loosen limp, loosen limp. Deep asleep. From this moment forward, any sounds you hear from the audience are just going to take you deeper to sleep. The laughter takes you deeper. All the sounds take you deeper, 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 deeper. Don't let anything interrupt your relaxation until I ask you to.
Now he's taken total control over their thinking and ultimately their actions. So notice the pattern. It's the mind. He got control of the mind. And once he got control of the mind, then the actions will follow. So you think and then you do. But if it's not you that's thinking and it's someone that's placed thoughts in your mind that don't belong there, then you're under the power of hypnosis. And that's exactly what the newscasters do. In any form, whether it be television, whether it be radio, whether it be magazine, whether it be newspaper. This is what happens to you and to me and to anyone when we subject ourselves to the hoax lie system.
Awaken, just sleep until I ask you to awaken. Let my voice do all the work. Deep sleep. Let my voice do all the work. Just keep dropping deeper and deeper. More and more relaxed until I ask you to awaken. Sleep deep until I ask you to awaken. Am I losing more here? Okay. Deep asleep, deep asleep. You may recall You know how we have technical names for everything? I said it's called response attentiveness, hysterical paralysis. Technical names for everything. You know what the technical name for this is? The flopper. That's what we call it. Anyhow, these guys, as you can see, are extremely relaxed. You may recall one of the 3 promises I made was that if you come up here, you're likely to be very, very relaxed. What I'm asking these...
Let's change that from relaxed to extremely under a power. Now this is what you've got to get into your mind. That when you watch the news, you get under a power. Just like these students on stages are under a power. They're not acting. This is a power, and that's what it does. Now that's what it does to me and does to you. When you tune in to your newscasts, and I'm going to add even any of the television quote programs. They're not good for you, none of them, because they put into your brain things that are not true, and they bring in hoaxes and lies into your mind. So your mind is not clear. And even if it is a game show, or even if it is a music show, anything at all, it's all under this power.
Very good visualizers at this moment to do is visualize every muscle in their body loose and limp and relaxed. So the net result of this visualization is a body that is just totally relaxed. I mean, zero tension in every single part of the body. You get complete loose, limp, and relaxed simply by visualizing relaxation. Stuck like glue to that chair. Loose and limp and relaxed. So what's the opposite of loose and limp and relaxed? Stiff and rigid. So if we alter the picture, if we go from visualizing loose and limp
What's the opposite of peace? Anxiety. Fear. What are you seeing right now? The opposite of this whole idea of they're so relaxed. So the hypnotist has the power to put you in that state as well. High tension, high anxiety. A threat is in front of you, even though it's not really there. You act as though it is really there, and that's what this hypnotist and any hypnotist does. They create something in your mind and you respond as if it's right in front of you, and then hence the audience starts laughing.
To a different image, you would expect to get a different response, wouldn't you? Think about it. That's my whole presentation in a nutshell. I'm saying if you go to someone that is afraid of a subject and started seeing yourself as someone who enjoys it or is challenged by it, you would change the way you behave toward it and change the way you approach it. Change the image, you oftentimes can change a person's performance. So, let's very quickly, these are the preliminary tests. Let's change the...
He gave it away right there. Change the image. So, they create images that you absolutely believe are real. Just like the old time in the movies, somebody's out in the desert and it's hot and they're suffering and they're thirsty and they're dying and they think they see water. But it's not water, it's just sand. But in their mind, they're certain it's a water. They call it a mirage. Okay? These are called illusions. And they create a world of illusion. And the world around you is basically a world of illusion because of the usage of mass media. The mass media created the world of illusion, and hence you live in it because you've devoured enough of the mass media.
Image and see what happens. In a moment, I'm going to extend your arm. As I do that, arm's going to stick like glue there, stiff and rigid like a bar of steel, welded to your shoulder, stiff, rigid, rigid, stiff, 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 rigid like a bar of steel. As I extend your arm, stiff and rigid like a steel bar. As I extend your arm, feel that arm locking into place, stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. As I extend the arm, stiff and rigid and stiff like a steel bar, welded to your shoulder. Feel that arm now, rigid, stiff like a steel bar. Concentrate, feel the arm, stiff and rigid and stiff like a bar of steel. As I extend your arm now, concentrate, feel the arm, rigid, stiff and rigid, concentrate, stiff and rigid and stiff like a steel bar. Concentrate now, feel that arm, rigid like a steel bar, welded to your shoulder, stiff and rigid. Concentrate now, stiff and rigid like a bar of steel, stiff and rigid, feel that arm, stiff and rigid and stiff like a steel bar. As I extend your arm, stiff and rigid like a bar of steel, more stiff, more rigid, feel that arm, more stiff, more rigid, more stiff with each passing second. And in a moment, as I count back from 3 down to 1, with each number I count, it's going to grow more stiff and more rigid, more stiff and more rigid, so stiff and rigid when I reach number 1, you'll discover you cannot lower or bend that arm. When I reach the number 1, that arm simply will not come down until you hear me and only me clap my hands. That arm's like a bar of steel till I clap my hands. Feel this happening. 3, getting more stiff, more rigid. 2, as if it were a bar of steel that had been welded to your shoulder. 3, 2.
Okay, once again, mass hypnosis through mass media. What are you seeing right now? Everybody on stage here, the students, are a mass. They're a group. And now he's speaking to them as a group or mass. And that's why the media is the main instrument to create what you're seeing in front of you, a mass audience under mass hypnosis through mass media.
And 1. Go ahead, try to lower the arm now. It won't go down. The harder you try, the tighter it sticks. The harder you try, the more stiff and rigid it becomes. Notice, even as you feel me pressing on the arm, stiff and rigid, stiff and rigid, stiff and rigid. That's it, stiff and rigid. You're not trying hard enough. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Stiff, rigid like a bar of steel. Beautiful. Stiff and rigid. Try harder. The harder you try, the more stiff and rigid it gets. The harder you try, the more stiff and rigid that arm becomes. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Stiff and rigid and stiff like a steel bar that has been welded to the shoulder. Keep trying. The harder you try, the more stiff and rigid it gets. The harder you try, the more difficult it becomes. Now what you see here, stiff and rigid like a bar of steel, what you see is the exact opposite of what these folks were doing a few minutes ago, right? You see now one part of their body, the part they're focusing on, totally stiff and rigid as opposed to the complete relaxation. Quite simply, if you can change an image in a person's mind, you can often change their performance. And I would point out to you that the degree of rigidity...
So what image has been put in our minds lately in the last 2 months? Huh?
...that these folks are experiencing is really quite dramatic. I mean, these guys... And it's not just him. You come up here and feel these people's arms. These arms are like steel bars. I mean, you'd have to... It's a totally different degree, a totally different type of rigidity that these people are doing. They have their attention focused now on, of all places, making their arms stiff and rigid. Wouldn't it be nice if your attention was focused on studying for that test or focused on getting a job that you're trying to get done and not wandering all over the place? One of the side effects of this technique is the ability to get and stay focused longer, which I think makes it valuable. In a moment, I'm going to clap my hands. The instant that I clap my hands, those arms are going to drop down like rubber bands, and the instant they drop down, you're going to fall twice as deep asleep. As soon as I clap my hands, 3, 2, 1, sleep, 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 very deep. Very deep, very deep, very deep. Deep, deep sleep, 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 sleep.
Okay, now the hand clapping there is a lot like the trigger words that are broadcast in the news programs or on television shows. The trigger words cause you to go into a deeper state of being willing to submit to hypnosis and the power of hypnosis. So I'm going to stop this right here. Once again, thank you for watching. Hang in there with me. It looks like I'm going to have a lot longer series than I anticipated, because I believe that by using these demonstrations here to talk about mass media, it's much more visible. Thank you for watching. End of video.